Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. And as this is hot off the presser, we're proudly sponsored by High Point Access Limited, your number one-stop shop for all your working at heights and roofing needs. If you mention the Ramble when you're asking for a quote, you'll receive 10% off any works. Find their details in all the links below. Thank you to High Point Access Limited for your continued support of the Blades Ramble.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades, and welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is hot off the presser, coming directly off Chris Wilder's pre-match press conference for tomorrow night's huge game. And I must say every game's a huge game, but against Norwich City, we cannot look past this fixture. It is business as usual. Let's get geared up for Norwich. I have taken my biggest risk to date in this format because I went live before the transcript has even processed. So, because I've got a hard out, hopefully at 10 o'clock, because I have a meeting with my business coach. So I'm either going to be late or it's all going to go to pieces. So we'll see how we get on. I was really impressed with the press conference. Again, I love this all business attitude from Chris Wilder. He's not resting on it. Not that I would ever have expected him to rest on his laurels and enjoy it, but we've seen a jovial side to Wilder in the past. There's none of that at the moment. And I'm sure there will be moments behind the scenes and stuff, but front facing is all business. We've done nothing yet in terms of league position and across the season because of the really poor start that we have to say he oversaw some of it. Obviously, he was dealing with an absolute mess at the time. But due to the situation that we're in and the terrible start that we had, it's a lot of hard work now to get us anywhere near. And we've only just started that work. So let's get into the presser, just so we're not too close to me being late. Adam Oxley from Radio Sheffield. It was just Adam and Danny Hall from the Sheffield Star asking questions today. Adam starts off by saying, that performance on Saturday, the all-round nature of it, did it please you as much as anything else? He said, yeah, it felt good. We talked about Michael's save as well, the clean sheet and the amount of chances we created given the quality of opposition and their league position. So yeah, delighted with everybody's contribution, the play, the tempo of the game, the way we pressed late on, the physical side of it as well. I think everyone internally, managers, coaches, players and staff, we were all delighted. And you get the feeling around the city, just from the little bits that I've heard over the weekend, that the most important thing is that the supporters were pleased with the performance too. Adam says, you're winning home and away, scoring goals, keeping clean sheets. Are you the team to be feared right now in the Championship? He says, I've got to say, I'm not really bothered what people think about us. I'm bothered about what we're doing, the standards that we're setting, the consistency we're showing. We can't get dragged into all this talk about the playoffs or what people will perceive us to be. What we do during the week and what stops us getting results are the things that I'll remind the players about. Arrogance, shortcuts, lack of discipline, lack of preparation, thinking that we've landed. We haven't landed. We're still playing catch-up. You climb up the table if you're consistent. Performances and results. That'll happen naturally. So the message is the same. Keep the hammer down. Love it! Love it! It's always been that way to me, says Wilder. The worst thing a manager can be described as is inconsistent. One good performance, one you can't recognise. I like knowing what I'm getting from my team, and we have to keep producing that. Any time scale on when we might see Ben Mee back? He says, no, not really. He's had a minor operation on his hand, so it's week to week to see how it heals. The good thing is that from a CV point of view, we can do all the work. I'm not sure that's what was said. It's, okay. I assume it means a training point of view, tick. He can do all the work. It's just the contact that he has to avoid. Ben's really disappointed. Knowing him and what he's achieved, he'll want to make himself available as soon as possible. And then they talked about McGuinness's ankle. How's that looking? He says, yeah, we're assessing that. I was delighted for Mark coming into the team. It's been a difficult start for him. And Ben and Jaffet's partnership, not Ben and Jeff, like it says here. Ben and Jaffet's partnership has been excellent. But the skipper's performance on Saturday was outstanding. That's obviously Jaffet Tanganga. McGuinness has had to wait and work hard, but he's took his opportunity. That's what we're about. If a door opens, a player needs to be ready, whether that's through training, 21 games, whatever it is. The season's about the whole group. Mark took his goal well as well. He looked a threat. He were unlucky with a couple of them as well. There's detail in the set plays. We talked about that previously on a couple of streams where whoever's putting the work into, and it might be more than one, but whoever's putting the work into the set plays needs to take real credit because we're looking at a huge threat from set pieces now. But ultimately, it's the quality of delivery plus the desire and commitment to attack the ball, and he had that. And there's a reason we've had the most corners in the division. We get the ball up to the top of the pitch and force teams to try and stop us scoring. They have to put the ball out to stop us from getting the ball in the box. We need to capitalise more if we're getting into those positions that often. I love that Wilder things have upturned so much and he's still driving it forward. He still wants more, and that's what we need. That's exactly what we're after. Has he got a chance for tomorrow then, McGuinness, or is it looking more like Friday? He says, well, we'll assess him today. He's rolled his ankle. Everyone saw the swelling, but it's gone down over the last 24 hours. We'll give him as much time as possible. Adam then says, can we expect changes this week with another 3 games in 7 days? It's always easy to suggest things from the outside, says Wilder. There'll have been some raised eyebrows when the team sheet came out at 2 o'clock on Saturday. That's the easy bit. Everyone has opinions. That's the beautiful game of football, and that's what we're about as well, isn't it? But overall, the opinion is positive. I've got the hardest job, the decisions to make. You get judged on them. So, yes, I could say that's the team, but I've got to consider the physical side, the tactical side, what gives us the best chance. Then I've got to commit and be brave, discuss with the medical team, performance and coaching staff, but it lands at my door ultimately. We've got a strong group. The bench is strong. I have to say Harrison was outstanding when he came on. Kept Fatu. He played against Leicester as well. Kept Fatu quite the best defender, the best winger in the division. That's me ad-libbing, obviously. Tom Cannon came on and was excellent against his former club. He might have been disappointed not to start, but his attitude was spot on. No mumping and moaning. They've even got that in here, which is exactly what he said. No mumping and moaning. That's what stops you. Selfishness. We made a decision on Callum O'Hare before the game. We could have risked him, but I didn't want to. He's been outstanding too. So yeah, players will be disappointed, but it's a tough week again. Saturday, Tuesday, Friday. The schedule, Ryan Mason's already had his say on it. He's not happy with it. We probably feel the same. We're just going to get through it together. The games take care of themselves. Full houses everywhere. Let's have a look. This game could be dangerous because people look at league positions. Same applied to us earlier in the season. Other managers have said the same about us. Norwich are a club we know well. Change of manager, culture shift. He'll have put a rocket up them. They've improved as a side. They were unlucky on Saturday. I watched the game against Watford. Could have won. They've actually got quality everywhere. He's trying to put them together just like I had to put our lot together, only he's had to do it a little bit later than I have. So I know the danger. It's nothing to do with league positions or form. It's 2 teams with good players, desperate for a win. If anyone shortcuts it, players, coaches, supporters will have issues. You've got to do the same things we did at Leicester and against Stoke. You need a lot of things right to have that feeling at 10 p.m. on Tuesday. Love it! So, are you surprised to see them struggling this season, says Adam? He says, yeah, I was. I thought it was a good appointment. So he's talking about Liam Manning. Coming from Bristol City, they're a local lad to Norwich. Thought they'd be in and around the top 10 personally. But people underestimate how hard it is to win games in the Championship. If it didn't go the way they wanted, so they changed it. With the players they've got, the financial backing, the Premier League history, they will get results. It just shows how hard this division is. If Mark... I'm just laughing at some of these things. If Mark McGuinness doesn't make it, how impressed were you with Tyler Bennison? How impressed were you with Tyler Binden? Not Tyler Durden, like Andy the Blades called him. Tyler Binden coming off the bench. He says, yeah, I was really impressed. Tyler's been great. Another one who's had a difficult start. Gives everything in training. The door opened for him and he was excellent. The fans' reaction was excellent too. I'm sure there were hangovers from earlier in the season. He's another one that was hung out to dry along with Siddy. Tyler's another lad who got exposed early on and took a lot of criticism. But his first action, a brave diving header, set the tone. His partnership with Jaffet was very good. They've got good players up top, Stoke, and Norwich have two. They'll have moments. Michael's made a big save as well. But Tyler's introduction was seamless. If Mark doesn't make it, Tyler plays, and hopefully he grabs it like Mark did. Does that change your thinking about... Great question from Adam. Does that change your thinking about him beyond January? He says, there'll always be discussions, lots of football to be played. Straight back from Chrissy here. 5 fixtures between now and January the 1st. If Mark's out on Friday, Tyler will naturally play. He does himself no harm either by performing well. If he plays like he did on Saturday, someone has to take the shirt off him. Have recent results and performances from players changed your January plans at all? And he says, no, not really. We need to do Gyro. We need to do Pat. 100%. Love that. Yes, we do, by the way. Both players, and I know Patrick Bamford's the most, he's the most obvious one because you can tangibly see the impact that he's had. He holds the ball up so well, but also he's contributed with goals and makes us look even more dangerous around the pitch. But I know a lot of Blades as well have rightly noticed the impact that Gyro's had. He does a lot of the unseen things really well. He allows City to get further forward and become more involved in the play. And it gives City the confidence that he's not got to drop back in because Gyro's good enough to deal with things. Gyro and Patrick Bamford, we 100% need to get done. That is exactly right what Chris Wilder said there. He says, I've said it to Steve and the board. They've had an effect and we need to fill some positions. Some boys need football. Some boys aren't at the level we need. We don't want a bloated squad. We've got too many bodies in. We're working hard to move some out and I want quality additions, not lone players sat in the stand. Does he include Bindon in that? That's the question. If we use loans, they have to push like last season. Hamza, Brereton Diaz, genuine. You mentioned Alfie Gilchrist as well. Genuine competition. Nothing's changed. We need a big January. Everybody knows it, and we want to be on the front foot on the pitch and off it. On the pitch and off it, heading into January. With momentum, can the tight schedule be a positive? I think this was Danny's question, where Danny Hall came in. He says, I know you talk about the schedule being tough, but with momentum, can that actually benefit you? He says, I get the schedule. Midweek games are a part of it. It's the timing that doesn't help. Recovery is huge. The way we play, going after Leicester, going after Stoke, so late in the game, our energy levels were outstanding. We didn't let them settle. But to do that, you need fresh legs, good recovery, and consistency across the league. Other teams have to deal with it too. On Andre Brooks, he's becoming quite the big part of things. How important is he now, says Danny. He says he decides how important he is. Love this answer. Andre Brooks decides how important he is. I don't decide. I know his talent, but he's got to put it all together. I believe in him. I love seeing local boys come through. Brooks is a local lad, but he decides his path. He'll count himself a proper player at 150 to 200 games. He's not there yet. He needs consistent seasons. He's got ability, drive, purpose. Off the ball too. He's been up against two of the top wingers in the division. He did both sides of the game brilliantly on Saturday. Energy levels were spot on. Fans won't be critical if he keeps that up. Neither will I. But he owns his future. Incredible. And his contract situation, says Danny. We talked about Gus and Tyrese Campbell having 18 months left. Brooks is in that same position, isn't he? He says, regardless of the contract, managers, whatever, you've got personal ambition and personal standards. The successful ones have drive, whether that's us moving with us or moving up to the Premier League. January's silly season. There's talk about Tom Cannon. There's interest in all our players. Danny had asked him about Tom Cannon, is there any interest in him? He says, there will be interest in our players because we're playing well, but I want Tom Cannon to stay at this club. I want to keep my main actors, and he's a main actor. He says, but people will ask, just like I'll be asking about players elsewhere. Pat, Gyro, competition at the top end. We're light in some areas. Some loans will go back. We need to improve, not weaken. Get to January 1st in a good place and kick on for the final few games, the second half of the season. He said the final 23 or the 23 games remaining. There's more than that. I think there's 27. Hopefully 30 if we make the playoffs and the playoff final. Players want to see good players coming in too. It helps them and it helps us. He talked about Gus being the best player in the league last season. He will want to see quality players coming through the door. That's absolutely bang on. The vibe they're giving me, in terms of, you said on Friday there's been contact with Gyro and Bamford's representatives. What's the feedback? He says, I've spoken to both boys and they want to commit to stay in. The representatives will obviously put the options in front of them on the table, and it has to be right for everyone. But the initial conversation between manager and player is very positive. The vibe they're giving me is they'd like to stay. Now it's over to the others to get the deal done. No pressure. Sheffield United board, Stephen Bettis. There you go. Yeah, they want to stay. I want them to stay. Get it done, essentially. Right, let's get into your comments. I thought it were a brilliant press conference from Chris Wilder. I might be all right for time here. Come on. Don't have to ramble. Turns out I don't ramble as much when I don't have to. Lou says, morning, Jim. One thing that I said that he said is what I really wanted to hear. A warning is, do you know, it'll help me more with timings if I could actually read. Morning, Jim. One thing he said that I really wanted to hear, a warning that this is a dangerous fixture, and I agree with him. There are no tap-ins in the Championship, and they're desperate for points. We're clearly in a good place, though, and I think if we take Saturday into tomorrow, we'll have too much for them. Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. Top man, Lou. I don't know whether Lou is joining for this, but we will have a live watch-along led by Paul the Man Mountain, Tuesday, 7:30. If you're not able to make the game, what better commentator and likely co-commentator, I just haven't confirmed it, I know the guys were going to have a conversation about it, than your Ramble FC team of Paul Man Mountain and Lou Walker, Batman as he's more commonly known. The Ramble FC boys, because they've got a couple of shows of their own on Ramble FC now, but they will be on the Blades Ramble tomorrow night, 7:30. Certainly Man Mountain will. Lou, let me know if you're up for that as well. Norwich won't be an easy game, says Bistow Brett. But if we continue to play how we are, then we have a great chance to take all the points. We need to keep up the levels and turn the screw. Wilder always gets me up for the games. Run through walls for that man as much as I'd drink to keep up with Rich Carrington. Richard Carrington. Up all the positive ones. Yes, absolutely right. Brett, you are an absolute animal. Never mind you keeping up with everybody else. It's people keeping up with you. Tim Walker, good morning, my mate. Potential banana skin, but if we play our best, we should destroy them. I was talking to Man Mountain on the phone yesterday, and I don't know whether on 3 Mardy Blades tonight he'll mention it, but he was very optimistic about our potential chances of steamroller in this Norwich side. We know he's a positive blade anyway, but we'll soon see. Up the Blades Ramble, says Matthew. That's all he's coming to say. I love it. Thank you, my mate. John says, business as usual for this. Our attitude has been outstanding for 3 weeks. Set by Chris. Will be interesting to see where he goes with at centre-half. Forget form and do the business, lads. The squad's got 90 minutes in it now. Last match any team would want in the division is Sheffield United away at the minute. Up the Blades. Up the Ramble. Yes, my mate. Yes, come on. Jack says, last season this game would have been dangerous, but not this, Jack. Jack, this, my mate, is the naivety of youth. And I know you're not that young. But I don't mean to patronise you in that way, but you can never say this game is not dangerous. That is a jinx. That is a touch of swagger that we don't need to have. We are playing very well at the minute. We don't need anything to tip us off this. And that might be me being overcautious as an old man, but it's always dangerous to say, not this season. Not when we have Rambler's own Bamford. I didn't see that last little bit. Maybe you were being jovial. So, yes, absolutely right. Bamford is a Rambler. Speaking of the man himself, this is the view from the mountain. Clear message to the board. They want to stay. Get it done. Absolutely right. It was definitely a clear message. Gauntlet thrown down to Brooks. Pretty straight talk. Don't want lone players sat in the stands. Does Bindon get him to change his mind? I think this Tyler Bindon situation all hinges on the Mark McGuinness injury situation. Ben Mee is clearly out for the next 2 games, in my opinion. That was my interpretation of the press conference. But if... Oh, way up. Oh, no. That was just an email coming through. That's what I took from the press conference. If Mark McGuinness is unable to play, or is even a doubt, and I think even if he's a doubt, then Bindon did enough to convince Wilder to play him. If Bindon gets the chance tonight, or even tonight and Friday, that is his opportunity to not only stay at the club, but potentially force his way in, like McCallum did at left back, like Tom Cannon took his chance up front. I think it all hinges on the Mark McGuinness situation, in all honesty, because his 4th choice at the minute is Tyler Bindon, because McGuinness has done well when he's come in to deputise for the starting 2. Now Ben Mee's down. and McGuinness is questionable. So we'll have to wait and see. Chris says, was sceptical when Wilder returned. Again, felt we can't just keep going back to him when things get tough, but we've been proven wrong. 3-0 win, in my opinion. Hope we see our blaster get a few mins off the bench, up the blades, up the Ramble. I don't think you've been proven wrong, Chris. I think your concerns over going back to the same man are still valid. A lot of blades will feel like that. We are very reliant on this Messiah, as I would coin him. It's how do we build for a post-Chris Wilder future? That is how, and we need to do that while he's here, rather than wait till things turn a little bit sour. I think we need more of an infrastructure in place. We need to be bringing more people in, maybe a sporting director or somebody that can help with a transition to a new manager. I think we have to start planning for longer term. But obviously, he's the best manager of my lifetime. I don't want... He could be in charge for the next 10 years, and I'd be more than happy with that. Morning, Jimmy. The difference 4 games makes. Must admit, I was honestly worried about relegation. Says Blades 375. We need to keep building and pushing up the league, up the Ramble. I hope there's a lot more after parties to come this season. Me too. Would love to join you for one. 2-0 tomorrow up the Blades. You're more than welcome, pal. Everybody's welcome at the after parties. Man Mountain said Bingham was exposed like City. That for me is an olive branch. Agreed. Great way to put it as well. Although he did emphasise McGuinness is in if he's fit. Interesting stuff. Mention the bench. Congestion fixtures favour us for me. Yeah. Yes, congested fixtures favour us because we've got a decent squad. Man Mountain talking sense. I have to say, as usual, you know, we have to give credit where it's due. He knows his stuff, doesn't he, that lad? Ian says, 6 minutes late, Jim. I'm recently retired at 57. I've got up early for this and you're late. I came on as soon as the presser finished, Ian. So to be fair, these are always like floating start times. It depends on when he knocks off his press conference. Then I've just got to put the transcript into the AI and hope that it produces stuff and don't tell me about Jeff Tanganga. Jack says, I hope the new owners are watching and learning because we will be running away with this league. I hope they're learning about football and how to run a club. Tom says, morning, pal. Good morning, my mate. We'll be catching up after my work call. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Nah, then, Jimmy lad, says Big T. Do you know what, Big T? In all the excitement, we didn't get a Ramble on the road, did we, for Stoke? That's my fault because I didn't organise anything. Let me know if you're doing Norwich, pal. Let me know anybody that wants to do Ramble on the road. Any Platinum Ramblers that want to do Ramble on the road for Norwich. That was my fault. I missed Stoke. It were an oversight. Hope we don't think we just walk this game against Norwich. They're no mugs, no matter where they are in the league. Win this and West Brom, we can start to dream. Come on. Come on, the Blades. Yes, T. I love T. He's got his own catchphrases already. I view for you. Says, hi, Jimmy. It does seem that since the arrival of Do Bamford is a Rambler, that the hope of... Look, that's got to be his new way that people announce him. All right? That's the only way it'll be accepted on the Ramble from now on. Since the arrival of Do Bamford is a Rambler, that the whole performance of the team has been boosted, but could it also be that it's also the formation has changed? The formation had changed, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I view for you. I think the formation had changed before Bamford came in, but he has been a huge addition to that. I think he's raised the levels. I've got 2 minutes, really, and I want to make sure everybody gets a comment read. Any more rumours on Hamza? No, we'll try and start him, though. We will do our best to start those rumours. Would be the best start to January. Getting him back on a permanent would be even better. Matt says, thought Saturday was possibly our best performance post-COVID. Keep it up, and we'll be back to where we should be in no time. I think it was Nathan Armstrong that was saying the most complete performance he's seen from a Sheffield United side in years. I don't disagree. Dave Morwood, good morning, my mate. Morning, Jimmy. Old man is up. What a man. Our gaffer is up all the Rambles, up the Blades, up the positive 6. Like and subscribe, please. Tilted says, remembering some of your words of wisdom when the Blades were struggling, Derby are in a rough patch now. Good form can really turn its head on its head overnight. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Take your time, Sheffield United. I can't take my time this morning, though, Chris. Brand says, morning, Jim, as well as Gyro and Pat. I think we need to look at getting Peck, Arblaster, Brooks and Sariki on new deals. We need to protect the club's future and assets in that regard. Absolutely bang on. Harder than anticipated, particularly Blaster and possibly Peck as well, who will both get significant interest, I think, certainly in the summer. Brooks and Sariki. Sariki's one that's also a really growing reputation. Brooks just starting to come into his own a little bit. I think we're more likely to get him tied down. Jack says, think it's vital to keep Gyro and Pat and hopefully get Gus tied down. That'd be incredible, Jack. Incredible. Yes, I've sorted it with Man Mountain, mate. I'll be on the watch along. Yes. Lou Dog, the ultimate housewives pairing. I'm expecting a bit of rotation tomorrow, says Ian. Some players look knackered after Saturday. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Jack, Statman Jack says, carry on the way we're going. And New Year's Day could be us hitting 40 points with scoring goals like Leeds did last season. Oh, I'm not sure I like being compared to Leeds, but obviously they were great last season. So we're on 10 o'clock. So we're in extra time now. I'm in injury time. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say that Bindon was brilliant on Saturday, says Ian. Yes, he was. Jack says, you build the future while he's here. The owners should be working with him to make sure the club is set after him. He seems to always fix the mess. Will says, if Bindon revives his time here, does it further question the ridiculous start to the season we had? Yes, it probably does. Bald and brilliant, that's Ali says. Morning, Jim. Well, what a press conference. If the board don't get the message regarding Pat Bamford and Gyro, plus quality... Readerville Gyro, I think you've put there. Plus quality ins and players out, they're deaf or don't want to listen. Still unsure about Bindon and understand your view from last night's stream, but if we can improve on Tyler Bindon, we should do it. One good game is not enough for me up the Ramble. Absolutely, and that's pretty much what Wilder was saying, I think. He were intimating, look, it's a great 45 minutes. He's got time to prove that he's worth keeping around. Whoever's our set-piece coach, take a bow, says Jack. Absolutely right. And the Man Mountain finishes off doing us an absolute solid. Hit the like, guys. Hundreds in, 4 likes. What? In the words of Delia, where are you? Where are you? Thank you, Paul the Man Mountain. I am going off to get a session from John Asquith, the best business coach around. If you are a growing business and you want support to continue that growth, they are the people to speak to. Thank you to everybody for joining us. The next time you'll see me will be tonight on 3 Mardy Blades. We'll see you there. Myself and the Man Mountain will be on early, whether Dave the Nose gets back in time to join us straight away. We're not sure yet, but we wanted to try and cover the FA Cup draw, so we might be on around 6:30 tonight. So set your reminders, get your notifications on, but for now, come on you red and white wizards! Off the blades!